Yep. Right here. It's in my file.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Tom,
That's right.
where are you going? Okay. Go ahead.
So glad I started the stream.
We are back from executive session. Thank you for your patience. So the public is aware, no vote was conducted on the item under discussion, nor was any vote taken to appropriate public monies.
Okay, we're still on item 4.
Right. So any further questions from the council? No. Any questions from the public on this item? Yes, sir? We are talking about the collective bargaining agreement between the Long Beach Civil Service Employees Association, Lifeguard Officers Unit, and the City of Long Beach.
Oh, I thought he said this one or that one. But all right, thank y'all for y'all clarification. James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street, in my amazing city that I share with so many wonderful.
Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
And President, and all of you. I wanted to just stand up and say, I'm not exactly sure of the deliberation that you all went through with the lifeguard and contract. And I know it's personnel, so you got to take it private. But I did want to say, as a 23-year union member, that I'm always in support of amazing union workers that work so diligently in putting contracts together with their union executive boards and members and working on different things that will best fit their membership. So I say to our hard-working lifeguards that if there's anything that will benefit them, I hope and pray that the city work very hard. I know that we're having some financial difficulties, and I pray that we come out of that and God just bless us with a lot of money somewhere. Oh, God, give it to us. But I pray that this union can get some of the things that they work so hard and diligently for and help keep so many people safe as thousands and thousands and thousands come throughout and they're sitting in the hot sun and they do all of the training that they do to keep so many safe. So again, I just wanted to stand up in support of the lifeguard union and say anything that you guys can do to continue working with this executive board and the membership, please do. When I worked for the city and worked on the beach a lot as animal warden, we did a lot together, whether it was dogs or seagulls or whatever was on the beach, and they would give me calls. I didn't understand all the language, and I always wanted to know, how to do all of that. But I have a lot of great friends that are still there. So please continue to work with them and work everything out so you guys can come to a vote. So it's not lingering and let's not procrastinate on this wonderful contract, whatever it can be. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge, and I'm sure the lifeguards appreciate your kind words. Any other questions from the public on this item? Seeing none?
Okay, item 5 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of a local law amending Subpart A of related acts relating to the Charter of the City of Long Beach regarding the authorization to conduct public meetings using video conference technology. This item is for publication only. A hearing will be held on July 19th at 7 p.m. Item 6 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach regarding Ocean Beach Park. This item is for publication only. A hearing will be held July 19th at 7 p.m. Item 7 is an approval of the minutes from prior meetings of May 17th and May 24th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
I will.
Second?
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Okay. And finally, item 8 has been added by unanimous consent. It is a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept a sponsorship fee to sponsor the city's July 4th fireworks display, or July 8th.
Correct.
Good evening again.
As Mr. McNally kind of mentioned during his city manager's update, we have a $50,000, well, 2 checks in the amount of $50,000 total for 2 entities. I believe it's Isla Blue at the beach, and where's the other one? The Breeze at Long Beach LLC. Those are 2 sub-entities of Ingle Berman, the development over on the Super Block. So they would like to be a presenting sponsor for the fireworks this week at July 8th at dark, according to John McNally. And there's a budget amendment to reflect that in the resolved portions of the resolution.
Do we have any questions from the council on this item?
No, just a lot of gratitude. No, just a lot of gratitude.
I would just hope that we could earmark any savings from what we had budgeted for fireworks on the laundry list of savings for this coming year. Any questions from the public on this item? Okay, seeing none?
Okay, on to the voting. Item 1 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase a sanitation truck for the city under a Sourcewell contract. Introduce and move the adoption of this item.
I will.
Second.
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
As I always say in these contracts, as long as it was bid, I'm definitely voting yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Item 2 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for the performing of fire safety services. Who will introduce and move the adoption of this item as amended?
I'd like to make a motion to table based on a discussion in the executive session. We need to get an additional piece of information from the vendor.
Second.
Hold on. Okay, motion to table item number 2. Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Okay, item 3 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept a donation of 2 pull-up bars to be placed on the city's boardwalk. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second.
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
A lot of people are going to be happy about this one. Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Oh, and to that particular person, yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Item 4 is a resolution ratifying the collective bargaining agreement between the Civil Service Employees Association Lifeguards Officers Unit and the City of Long Beach and authorizing the city manager to execute same. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second.
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
I'm thrilled to be voting yes for the second collective bargaining agreement in this calendar year. Thank you.
Item 5 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of a local law amending Subpart A of the related acts related to the Charter of the City of Long Beach regarding authorization to conduct public meetings using video conference technology. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second.
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Item 6 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach regarding Ocean Beach Park. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second.
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
And finally, item 8 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept the sponsorship fee to sponsor the city's July 4th fireworks display. Would you just move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second.
I will.
Voting, Councilmember Apostoli.
Yes, and thank you.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Thank you to Engel Berman, and yes.
Vice President Treston.
Thank you so much. Yes.
President McGinnis.
Thank you to Ingle Berman. Yes.
City Manager's monthly personnel report has been filed by the city clerk. Who will make a motion to close the meeting?
I will. We
We
did
did
it
that
already.
already. I'm sorry. Who
Any second for the?
I will.
got it first? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Voting, Councilmember Postoli.
Yes.
Councilmember Lester.
Yes.
Councilmember Bendo.
Yes.
Vice President Treston.
Yes.
President McGinnis.
Yes.
Okay.
Now the big moment, whether I make it or not.
Mr. William Doper. Depper. Okay, not here. Mr. James Hodge. Mr. James Hodge, are you in the house? This is blank.
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street. I'd like to give some of my time in a moment of silence to the officers that was tragically killed over the weekend. Thank you. Also, the police chief said in Aikman, 60 shots, 60 wounds to Jalen Walker, who was unarmed, young black man, shot, killed. And I know that different details will come out as we go. And somehow he was unarmed, but he was killed. And then two shooters got a shot, the police officer, and killed them. Somehow he got caught. And then the crazy nut that killed those people at a parade, somehow he got caught. So I stand to say that in my little time that's left, speaking about North Park, as we know North Park is part of the whole Long Beach, I just want to read into your hearing some of the stuff that was already emailed to you by our community member, Crystal. For too many decades, North Park EJ community of color within the city of Long Beach, New York, has been disproportionately burdened and underserved based on my own personal family experience, hers, mine, and generational negative health impacts that we will never know the full extent of. During these harsh, unrelenting economic times, potential for extreme weather events, flooding, which just flooded the other day, you guys get that video, and I know some parts in Long Beach still have water problems, but as they were speaking tonight, it's being addressed, it's going to pull the water out. But when we talk about North Park, which is a part of our great city from Maple to Nevada, from the ocean to the bay, the whole city has bulkheading except North Park, which is the poorest area in Long Beach. The houses are the most leased, it's the most affordable Section 8 housing. They would call that sometimes the deplorable area, red zone, all the things behind the wall. It's the only area that don't have bulkhead, don't have riprap, we had that, and the water seems to just keep flooding. The government, Crystal and others that you get many emails, saw that we seek and got certain monies, and yet the city is not using that to do bulkhead. I don't know the plan, but administration after administration keep failing. When you fail one part of the community, you fail the whole city. So again, as I'm closing, please care about North Park like you care about every community, because one community, part of the community is hurting. We all hurt. I love you all. Thank you for your time. And also, I'd like to commend the commissioner for the job he's doing. The police officers that was out, it was around the community a lot. They got a chance to talk about it. So thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Mr. McNally, can you address the critical infrastructure project?
Sure. I'm clearly no substitute for Commissioner Fabrizio on this, but the project that Mr. Hodge is referencing is the critical infrastructure bulkheading project along just the area that he's talking about and that Crystal referenced. will be going the entire length of the North Park area to the tennis bubble, is about to commence. This has been an enormously complex issue. We were hung up with a while negotiations with the MTA, going back and forth with a number of entities, but this is a massive project that is, again, 100% funded by state and federal government, will bring bulkheading to the exact area that Mr. Hodge referenced, and on Pine Street will be the same type of force main valve that we talked about for the West End and West Park Avenue. So those things are coming, taking a little bit longer than anyone would like to, but they will be getting to fruition within the next couple of years. And I mean, the project is expected to commence. Well, is it getting awarded soon, Rich? Is that where we're at?
So there are some negotiations still pending with the MTA. Commissioner Fabrizio has been up at the podium there to talk about that project for some time. It is FEMA funded. We do have approval letters for a lot of the work to be done. The steps that are remaining is that Commissioner Fabrizio needs to award those projects to those contractors. So once the contract or the agreement with the MTA is finalized, we can proceed and start the process.
Okay. Thank you very much, and kudos to the staff for their years-long work on this project. Kathleen O'Leary.
I can answer that.
And then the other thing I wanted to say, I just wanted to thank the police department for containing these parties at the Boardwalk, because if they're not contained there, they're coming to, our neighborhoods. It's happened before in the West End. There's been a lot of, bad things happening after bar stores, after that. So this is even worse. So I very much appreciate the protection.
Thank you. The accessibility to get into the City Hall is being addressed. And one of the plans that was shown not too long ago, Commissioner Fabrizio is working with them, and we're looking at they've decided where the curb cuts, so it is in the process.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Eileen Hession.
Good evening, Eileen Hession, Long Beach. A couple of quick things. First, the Hebrew Academy has more broken glass and more broken doors. It really is a hazard. It has to be cleaned up. Second, it was good to hear from Commissioner Walsh about how many summonses and tickets were handed out, and I do think that eventually we should find out how much money we do collect on these after the judges allow them to go free. The third thing is, speaking of the bulkheading, is there going to be bulkheading east of the tennis bubble? Oh, there is. Thank you. Okay. East. So North Park is not the only place that has. Right, okay, there are other places. What happened to the old pull-up bars?
They came down.
All right, that's
They came down during COVID and were in a piece of, they were
came
beyond
down
repair.
during COVID. Somebody sneezed on them? All right, thank you. But here's the real reason I'm up here, the elephant in the room. Many years ago, Jack Schneerman tried to insult me by calling me Perry Mason. So I'm going to act like Perry Mason right now, or a detective, not a lawyer so much. We had a major robbery the other night. Commissioner, you were on TV about it. I thought it would be brought up tonight, so I'm bringing it up. It was said that it was done in the dark, that cash registers, cash drawers, and the safe were opened. The safe was not broken into, which means somebody had the combination. So as a detective, I'm going to say this sounds like an easy one. It sounds like somebody had the combination to that safe. Somebody knew where the drawers were and the safes were. Do you want to go?
Ms. Hession, is your time is on the clock?
I think I have it solved. That's all.
Oh, okay. Commissioner Walsh?
Thank you, Eileen. So, not to be insulting, but no, it's not solved. And look, it was a very serious event for the city. It's the very first time that anybody's ever broken into anything like that. Normally there isn't money. There'll never be money there again. The safe did not show obvious signs of being broken into, but it doesn't mean that it was left in a locked condition either. There might have been a problem with the safe. We're not sure. Everything's under investigation. It's a very small interior, so all you have to do is look around. The cash registers were not locked up. They were there. The drawers were locked. They were broken into. And there's only one real closet there to speak of. So it's an unfortunate incident. We have not ruled out in any way, shape, or form whether or not somebody who knew the operation was involved in this. It's all on the table. And wherever the investigation leads us is where we will go. There's not a lot of details I'm going to provide other than what I just said. And, you know, we're going to keep looking into it. We don't, even if something isn't solved right away, we never stop looking. You know, all right?
Thank you very much. I didn't mean to make light of it. It is a very serious thing. I don't know why there was that much money there. When I was a ticket taker many, many years ago, they used to collect the money twice a day. We used to collect at each booth. And they took it away and banked it, you know, so I don't know why there was money there anyway. It's none of my business, but that was a lot of money to be sitting there. Also, suggesting that we'll be able to get those tickets back if they sell them. You know, the cashiers don't even look at your ticket when you go through. So they're not going to look at them for the serial numbers on them. It's just unfortunate, and it certainly does seem like an inside job spoken by Perry Mason. Thank you.
Thank you. Crystal Lake. Good evening.
Good evening, Crystal Lake, Long Beach, New York. Flood protection measures throughout the city of Long Beach, with the exception of North Park. You have the jetties, you have the dunes, you have dune grass, okay, as well as floodgates throughout the city. The Bayside is the lowest elevation. The North Shore Critical Infrastructure Project began on or about 2013 to aid in the protection of the critical infrastructure and to provide protection for the North Park community, which there is none. The riprap, to me, are pebbles now. And we can also, I will safely assume that the public utilities upgraded their equipment. Okay. It would appear to be, it should be an uproar by the entire city that that particular area should have some protection. Now, it is my understanding that there is a delay. The MTA, the Long Island Railroad, whatever the delay is, what measures are in place to move this process forward expeditiously? I've walked through floodwaters since the age of 4 years old. 3 generations of my family were impacted by the floodwaters as well. And I came from comfort. Yes, and I resided in North Park. And I was very fortunate not to come from poverty. However, that location should be addressed, hopefully within the city manager's report, will provide updates regarding this project. There's approximately $40 million that is not being utilized for whatever reasons. We understand there will be delays of something of this magnitude. First, being priced out. Secondly, in addition to, being flooded out. So when people do not have a true understanding of what it's like to have no flood protection measures at all, repetitive flooding, decades after decades after decades, okay, we now have the opportunity to address this matter. But this is something that should be addressed consistently ongoing, informing the public of any delays, informing the public of exactly where we are in this process. North Park will be extinct as it currently is now, and I thank you for allowing me a minute or a sentence or two to wrap this up. Is that okay?
Really quick? Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So moving forward, I hope within the city manager's report, updates would be given on a consistent basis regarding this project. Because what is happening, okay, people say affordable. No, not really. The properties are subdivided. Homes and rents, sale prices, just like everywhere else, are astronomical. This is my home. This is our home. I have sand in my shoes, and I want to move forward just like everyone else. I'm a retired senior citizen now. I paid my way as I should. I've earned my way as I should. And what I expect is fair opportunities across the board, And I'd give someone my heart if I could to help.
Okay.
But what I've endured...
Okay, Ms. Lake.
Okay.
That was more than 2 sentences.
I just want to say, I will ask Commissioner Fabrizio to give an update at the next meeting, and then we will update everyone as we go along.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Judy Vining.
Do it this way. Judy Vining, Long Beach. I'm here because every once in a while we get new information, and I view my role as Director of Long Beach Ware to pass that on to you. What you do with it or don't do with it is up to you. I heard Mr. Hodge pray for money or manna from heaven, with millions of dollars. I guess I'm here to tell you it's probably not going to come from taxes for marijuana. If you follow the news, you will know that the governor of California has recently lowered the taxes for California at the behest of the marijuana industry, who said they were losing money and dying. So what looks like a panacea isn't always, and I just thought I would give you that information. I think the number, and I might be off on it a little bit, but the number that Governor Newsom used was that of the $248 million in whatever time frame it was, 1 year, of marijuana taxes, 218 of it came from the black market. Because what we do know from other states, and that's one of the things we talk about a lot, is to take our lessons from where they went wrong and where they didn't. And what we do know is in every community that has opted in, or in California, it's a different process, it doesn't really matter. The point is every community that has recreational marijuana sales and vape places, there is also a huge black market, and it really adversely affects the very population you do not want it to. So that's tonight's news.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Vining. And Linda Giles. Good evening.
Judy? Oh, there you go.
You're fine.
Okay, sorry. I thought tonight I might hear an update on the bicycle situation. And I was on the boardwalk this weekend, and I was talking to two very nice policemen. They were not the specials, they were policemen. And there was a bike chained up, and I said to one of them, I said, is this considered a citable offense or not? And he said, I really don't know. So that got me thinking, if the police don't know, how do the kids know? So I was hoping that we could have some kind of an update to say if you came to any conclusion. I was at the work session the other night, and it was kind of left up in the air as to what you were going to do about more bike racks, as well as what is a citable offense. So I would like some clarity on that if possible, as would the community, I'm sure.
Okay, as far as more bike racks, what I said the other night was that the building commissioner and it was a couple other people, they did in fact go out and find out where additional places we could put bike racks. At the same time, what they've been working on, because it was later in the week, they've been working on taking an inventory so we can put a list on the website of where all the bike racks are. We've gone to ENA, or to the comptroller's office, and now it's just a matter of us, after we complete the inventory and move bike racks around where we can then determine how many more additional we need to purchase. So we did start the process the very next day.
That's great. What about what constitutes an offense?
That's the commissioner.
Commissioner Walsh.
But before I say anything, I think this man's doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yes.
much. So with regard to the bicycles and what's an offense, the city code is 23-38 is pretty clear that nothing that's movable is really allowed to be on sidewalks or anything like that. So on the boardwalk, you're not allowed to attach anything to the rails. We give either side. So we give a lot of leeway of that during the day, especially when we're having like your volleyball or whatever. We give leeway. We let people kind of chain them up while the events are happening. But usually around midnight, when everybody's gone, if bicycles are left overnight, we'll start to take a survey, take a look around. If we found bicycles are up there overnight, and then another night we'll wind up taking the bicycle off because it's a violation. But like we are trying to be bicycle friendly as a community. So you have 10,000 people playing volleyball and 3,000 people ride a bicycle. They're going to chain them up along. We try to encourage people aggressively to put their bicycles on the north side of the boardwalk so that you're not interfering with where the benches are. But overnight is really not allowed.
Are we notifying the public in any way?
It's in the ordinances, and we put it up on my website. We put it up on the website last week. We've done, John, did we put it up on the city website at all? Yep, it's been up on the city website. So it's not like it's being kept a secret, but, I mean, how many people,
I don't know. As much as possible.
Yeah.
Notify us, because we have this very laid-back culture.
Linda, we can't hear you.
We have a very laid-back culture in Long Beach, which we all know. We're a flip-flop kind of town, and we're used to living a certain way. And I think people have to be notified in every possible way they can. So we don't want to alienate people. We want everybody to love all of you up there as we do, and to love our police commissioner, and to know that we're here for the good of this town. We don't want to hurt anybody. So I would just like as much notification as possible. Some of my friends have mentioned robocalls, whatever you can do. That's all. Whatever you can do would be appreciated.
Commissioner?
So as far as the robocalls and stuff like that, I'm sure the administration and I will have that conversation. John, we could talk about that and see if it's something that we do. The issue too we try to save those things for more emergency type of things, and a lot of research says pretty soon people they'll block you if you keep on calling them. So we try to be a little more careful with that. The other issue I just want to also bring up, which Tommy brought to me, which I didn't say before, is once we started. History proves, you let people start leaving stuff on the boardwalk, next thing you know, they're locking up their beach chairs and then their carts, and then the whole side of the boardwalk becomes, I'm sure you remember the years when the boardwalk was a mess. So there is a very careful balance that we try to achieve between being permissible and letting people live their lives, and yet staying within the enforcement and the discretion of the police department to actually do things that keep us safe. You know, I did mention last work session, I'll say it in this session, the big uproar was really for 5 bicycles that were taken from the West End on a corner. It was, you know, and the same night that somebody was shot, all I heard about was bicycles. So it's a very unusual thing. Unfortunately, somebody did get shot in the leg that same night, you know. So we are working to try and find that balance, but I'll be very clear that if you're blocking a sidewalk, if you're leaving your bicycle chained for long periods of time on our street signs and stuff like that, we're taking them. You know, so.
I just was concerned also that
Yeah.
the policemen weren't telling me whether what I was seeing was a bootable, was a citable offense or not.
Real quick on that. So anybody who's been here for a little bit of time knows that you're not allowed to lock anything on the boardwalk. We have a lot of new cops. Some of them they're not familiar with everything. We did put out notices. I wish you would have gotten their names, because I would have told them. You can give it to me on the side if you'd like. But as far as that goes as well, if it's not a problem, then they're not going to know it. So it really hasn't been too much of a problem on the boardwalk this year or last year with people leaving things long term. We have taken a few off. We had, you know, some of the wintertime where it was up there for a month. We took the bicycle away because it's not your parking place, you know. So I hope that helps a little bit.
It does help. I think my only concern is that I want people to know what the law is, what the rules are. You know, I don't want anybody to feel, you know, this town, social media, I don't want anyone to say anything negative.
So we'll put it up on our Facebook page too. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending tonight, and we are done. See you at the fireworks.
Happy birthday, Miss Annie.